What is up, guys? Do you have a PS5 controller with horrible drift like this? If you do, we are going to get that fixed today because that is not good. Alright, we got the controller here, a little magnetic pad so we can put our screws down. But the first thing we need to do is remove this plastic cover right here. I like to go in with this little metal tool, and just like that, we'll pop up both sides. That is removed, and now we need to remove the L1 with a little bit of force. And also R1. And just like that, we got 2 screws there, and then we also have 2 screws down here. And we'll go ahead and remove all those. Now we have all those screws removed. We got 2 little clips here, and this controller will actually separate right here at the seam. We got 2 little clips up front. And there is a clip in here. Just like that, and we'll do the other side. And now we can separate the top from the bottom. We want to be careful with all these ribbons here, but since we have access to the battery, we want to disconnect that battery now. We have 1 screw right there we will remove. Disconnect these ribbons, and we'll pull that board out. Now we have access to our broken analog stick. We'll go under the scope and get that removed. So with that board loose, we're gonna have to disconnect these wires by soldering them. So I like to just do a little mark where the black one goes, or you can remember it's on top. There's also a little red indicator. You just wanna make sure we don't get them mixed up. So now we're ready to desolder the motors that make the controller vibrate. We add a little bit of flux. I like to grab the wire and heat up that little solder pad, and wires disconnected. 1, 2. We'll spin it around. 1, 2. And now this board will come out like that. We can remove these sticks. And now we have access to our stick, and we're gonna go under the scope. Under the scope, we're using some hot air until that solder flows and that analog stick will drop out of place. We'll add a little bit of flux and go over everything with some wick to make sure those holes are all cleaned and ready for our new analog stick. Clean up all the old flux and we can put our new analog stick into place. And I like to hold it with one thumb and then tack 2 components. And then I can go over everything else with just the line of solder and my iron. These sticks are calibrated in factory and I'm unable to do so, so I have a different method. We got the analog stick replaced. A lot of people will try to clean it, but that does not fix it. As you can see, we are good there. And even replacing it, we are not dead center. We will correct that issue now. We got a little resistor board wired in, and you can see we have 80k ohm resistance between the pan 2 and 3, and we are less than 1% there. So we're gonna solder in a 80k ohm resistor. You're going to see me add in 2 resistors, but this first one is the pin 2 and 3, that 80k ohm resistance, and then this is the other side to correct the other drift that the right analog stick also had. And just like that, we are pretty centered. We are 1% or less. Like I said, anything under 4% is usually not registered in game, so we are all well there. We'll get it all back together and do a final testing. We got the controller back together, and we do not have any drift anymore. All values are 1% or less, which is very, very acceptable. If you guys have an issue like this and want me to fix it the right way, click that link in the bio.